President Cyril Ramaphosa has committed that starting this year, they'll work with municipalities to establish professionally managed ring-fenced facilities for water and electricity services to ensure there's adequate investment and maintenance. Speaking in Parliament during the State of the Nation address, he said municipalities were failing in part due to lack of technical skills and resources required to meet the people's needs. Now, joining us to discuss this further is SALGA President Bheki Stofile. Good evening, Mr. Stofile. Thank you very much for joining us on the SABC. So, among others, we heard from the president that the priority is to grow the economy in order to create jobs, and this needs a government that works for the people. And really, in all tiers of government, local government is the coal face. It's the closest level of government to the people. So what did you make of that commitment by the president to offer greater support to municipalities?
Support is something that, greetings to you and greetings to your listeners of the SABC. Support is something that is very good to be welcomed in the system of local government. And that support, it comes with a very good intention to correct the local government. And I wish that support will also cover the invisible hand that also participate in collapsing municipalities in one way or another. That informs by politics that are existing in the local government.
Mm-hmm. Are you saying the invisible hand is politics, just for clarity?
There is a lot of invisible hands that are playing place, because remember, local government space is a highly politicized space. Mm-hmm. That at one point is council, at one point is administrators. And the unfortunate thing, we are not dealing with the root cause of the collapse of municipalities. And this root cause is an invisible hand that is always existing in the municipality, that it must be chopped and be dealt with.
Mm-hmm. But on many occasions, the conversation around depoliticization of the administrative function in municipalities is a big one. We hear of the professionalization of the public service and this depoliticization. So you're saying in all the conversations that have been had around this, especially every time after an AG report, this becomes the conversation. You're saying it has led to naught. Conversations have been had, but nothing has changed.
It will only change if all those that are involved in the political arena accept that they have individual role to play in making sure that it professionalizes local government. You may have a conversation, but you may not, that conversation, achieve your intended goals, because if there is no commitment to those that are politically leading, therefore it will be just a waste of time. You'll be doing a shift, blame shift to this or that person in the municipality without dealing with what is not feasible, is not seen in your naked eyes.
So you believe the diagnosis by the president? Pardon me for interjecting there, but so do you believe that the diagnosis by the president from his address last night, that in part the failures are due to a lack of technical skills? You're saying that's incorrect. There's the invisible hand.
No. I'm saying it is correct, but what is compounded the failure in the municipality is also the invisible hand, that as you do that support, you must also deal with the support in chopping the invisible hand, because you may throw anything, you may build any entities or systems, but if you don't deal with the root causes of why the municipalities fails, then you'll be wasting your time.
Mm-hmm. But you phrase it as the invisible hand, meaning it evades many. So it would be quite difficult to actually arrest this problem. But at the very least, if they can deal with the lack of technical expertise and the financial issues, wouldn't you say that somehow it would be putting municipalities in a better position?
Look, I'm not sure, because here's the issue that all of us, we must always be mindful of it. There are different interventions that have been made in different municipalities throughout the country. Over 40 of them, different interventions have been made. But it has never seen the light of the day in terms of changing. This tells you that we are dealing with what you assume is a challenge, without dealing with the root cause. And if you don't deal with the root cause, which in my sense, the root cause is an invisible hand that almost it's not seen by anyone, The only thing that is seen by everyone is those that are appointed as municipal managers, municipal officials, and councillors. And we believe that there is a lack of skill at that level. What about the highly politicized interface that is happening in that level under the table? What are you going to do with that? And this is done by political parties. I mean, for instance, I can make you an example. If a mayor a municipal manager try to collect revenue as much as possible in his municipality, I get a call from a leader of his political party saying, don't do that. What is that mayor going to do?
As in, don't collect revenue?
Or what is that municipal manager going to do?
Pardon me again, just for clarity. Are you saying that there'd be an instance where a mayor would then call and say, don't collect the revenue, or they would call and say, let's prioritize payments for this as opposed to that?
No, what I'm saying is that the municipality, it must collect what is owed by households,
yes,
government, and business. Now, in the process of collecting what is owed by households, government, and so on, when you do that in the process of collecting, and this is not about capacity, it's about the invisible calls that you receive. That's what I'm saying.
So how can this be dealt with? I mean, here you are as SALGA. So how can this be addressed? Because here you are as SALGA, and we're not going to say that this issue around the political interference in municipalities is a new one. We all know, hence, there's always been that conversation around depoliticizing this administrative function, because they serve an administrative role, honestly, when you speak of the municipal manager. But in this instance, given that it's a problem that is an age-old problem, what needs to happen now? Because the president has gone on to say they will reform at least the funding models for municipalities that struggle with their revenue base. They will go on to support in other instances, but this was not addressed of the political interference. So how will you as SALGA be bringing this to the conversation with government?
We always bring it. We always bring it in each and every moment we have in our engagement with all political parties. What we have done over the past period is to directly engage individual political parties that constitute government and that contest elections, and ask them to play their role and at least remove this burden and pressure that individual councils must take decisions that are not aligned with legislative framework. And it is their responsibility, therefore, to guide in the process and help municipality. And that part of support that is required, mostly. Then if you address that support, in fact, you'll be dealing with all the weaknesses that municipalities are facing. Of course, the issue pertaining to funding model, it had to be relooked. And also remember, the funding model is a political choice that has been taken. Policy positions that are taken by government are also contributing factors in the whole system of government. And those are the issues that must be dealt with, confronted as an integral part of supporting the municipalities.
Mr. Stofile, thank you very much for your insights this evening. That is Bheki Stofile, SALGA president. They're just sharing his views on the president's State of the Nation address, especially insofar as it relates to municipality. The president, they're committing that as of this year, there'll be greater support for municipalities.